Okay, and if it's closed, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Claypot rice. Name very interesting.
Cut.
Welcome to another episode of Food Hunt! Today we're going to be going to a neighbourhood that you can already see in the video title, Kovan! And we have a special guest joining us today.
As you know, we're doing election coverage, and so we've already had elected members of the incumbent party on. We also had elected members of the opposition party on. So as a little twist, right, for us to ask some kaypoh boya questions, we thought we'll have someone from the incumbent party who is in an area that usually leans opposition. So with that, we have the newly appointed PAP Branch Chair for Paya Lebar in the Aljunied GRC, Daniel Liu.
Right, and we're going to be meeting him at the first location, Kovan Market and Food Centre.
Let's go! Alright guys, so we're here at Block 209, also known as Kovan Food Centre. Hey, I missed out the market lah, but you know where it is. And we have Daniel Liu here with us.
Welcome.
Happy to be here.
We actually wanted to go to a few places, actually famous places, but unfortunately they're closed today.
But it's okay because you guys have recommended a lot of other options here. And the queues, right, usually like even when we went to CBD, right, the queues are not so bad before 12.
No.
But they get crazy. But here, right, the queues are damn long. Like I had to queue up about 20 minutes plus for this particular noodle store.
I'm very excited to try the food here today.
Yeah, so today we're going to be trying from two stalls. The first one is, I don't know if this is a play on words, Yummy
Confirm lah!
Teochew Fishball Me. Okay.
Oh, could be someone's name or?
Yeah.
So the backstory behind this store is that it's actually a third generation hawker.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they are famous for the dry fishball noodles, which we got. And then actually a lot of people recommended us to try the curry mee.
Okay.
But when I was talking to her, she basically explained that the cost was too high and they don't have enough manpower to continue producing the curry noodles. But everybody were ordering the laksa.
Okay.
So it seems like quite a popular option, so we decided to get both to try.
Sure.
Okay.
And then
I hope it's yummy. I had to.
let's see how you do the next store name.
Let's go.
So the next store name is Ming Fa Wanton egg noodles. Also very highly recommended.
Yeah.
They have this secret 5-taste special noodle thing, which is what we ordered here.
Oh.
But we tried to ask them, they don't want to disclose to us the secret recipe clearly okay?
Then it won't be secret anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so these are the options that we're going to try. Are you a picky eater?
No, I'm generally quite okay.
You spend a lot of time in this food market.
I have been spending a lot of time here, especially the last 2 months ever since I've been asked to serve as a branch chair here. I mean, there are just so many stalls. I haven't been able to try everything. These two I haven't had a chance yet.
Oh,
Good.
Yeah.
good.
So this is helpful for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We like to introduce people to new things.
I think people know that there's largely two broad categories of wonton mee. There is the one that is a little bit lighter on the sauce. This is not that. This is a dark sauce one. I slightly prefer it because I feel like the dark sauce is a little bit more flavorful. You don't rely on like chili, for example, and other stuff.
Okay.
This feels a lot more like comfort food to me. And I quite like that nostalgia element to it.
Yeah, it's quite rare that you have like the shredded chicken in it also, right? Wonton mee usually don't come with shredded chicken. Usually it's just the sao or the cha sao.
I find this wonton mee very unique
Ah.
in that the sauce, right, has a bit of like a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And that's the first kind of like general flavor that hits you. And then the egg noodle is not too intense.
Yeah.
But it comes like just after, right? And then the char siu is not too sweet. It's actually a lot savoury than sweet, which I find quite interesting.
This is the first time I've had such an in-depth discussion about wonton mee. I learned a lot.
I think that we completely forgot, right? Because it is wonton mee, we forgot the wonton.
Oh!
Oops.
Cheers, thank you, sir.
No problem.
So I realize in politics have to serve.
Yes. This is a tradition in Paya Lebar where, you know, it's customary for branch chair to serve food even.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I learned this from my predecessors also.
Interesting. Even though we're not residents.
Anyone. It's like sweet a bit, right?
Yeah, why?
Why is it sweet?
I'm very pleasantly surprised by this.
Yeah.
It's like the most basic version of a wonton mee, but somehow they just added a little extra oomph to it.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that can happen is they give you a soup that's very salty and that will overpower the wonton.
Yeah.
But when I ate the wonton, I felt it's not just the salty and the savoury that I pick up. The sweetness of the shrimp inside even kind of came through.
Okay, let's move on to the next dish. It's a bit spicy. Oh, sorry, I cannot take spice.
You cannot spice?
Yeah, I cannot.
I'm so sorry.
Spicy. What?
If you look at the noodle, it's like quite squiggly, you know, like it's not those kind of like very commercially made, flat. So it's actually well coated. And
I'm a bit confused.
Why?
What's the difference between fishball noodle and bak chor mee?
The minced meat.
But then this one got minced meat, right?
This is
Bak chor mee, oh?
Huh? This is not dry fishball noodle. That's what I ordered.
So it's fishball noodle.
Okay, okay.
I was gonna say that this tastes a bit off from bak chor mee.
That's why I didn't taste the vinegar.
No,
Okay,
but she asked me whether I want vinegar. I said yes.
Oh!
So there is vinegar in dry fishball noodle,
Okay,
but it is not bak chor mee.
okay. We need to find an expert to clarify this for
Somebody
us. Yeah.
explain to us, please.
I guess you're someone who likes fishball noodles and bak chor mee. This is a good mix.
Yeah.
But I want to say, right, this one, quite yummy.
Yeah. The coating of the noodles, that's what makes it.
He missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The place quite yummy.
It's yummy.
Oh! Yeah, very good, very yummy. Very good. Definitely hits all the good parts of laksa.
Yeah.
The heavy also very strong.
Very.
Yes.
I think the fact that it has been sitting there and the noodles have soaked up the laksa gravy for a while, also very good.
It's a plus point for
It
you.
is a
Yeah.
huge plus point. There's something about it, right, where it's thick, it's lemak, right, but I don't get an overpowering coconut taste,
Yeah.
which I actually really like because there's the right element and I think it's the right amount of spice. I don't know whether it's coming from the sambal or the soup broth alone, but it hits the right spot for me.
I'll keep it short because it's very, very spicy. Yummy. Okay, so I have to explain the rating scale.
Yes.
Right.
1 star is worth trying if you are around the area or you happen to be there.
Yeah.
2 stars is make a detour to eat this. And 3 stars is make this a destination.
So for the Ming Fa Wanton mee,
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
1 star.
Hey!
Okay, not bad, not
very
bad, not
aligned,
bad.
very aligned. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Your credibility has just increased.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
for reviewing.
Or maybe yours has decreased.
Serving size, portion, and like all the flavors combined, right? If I'm craving wonton mee,
Yeah.
solid option.
it's a very, very simple meal, but a simple meal done right.
And now for yummy. Is it yummy?
I-
3, 2, 1.
2.5.
Wow!
I love
Okay,
laksa.
okay.
I think this laksa is worth it to try if you're like a laksa connoisseur. I think this
Yeah.
is one to check out as a comparison, right? So
Okay.
wherever you are in Singapore, come and check out this laksa.
Okay.
I like bak chor mee or fishball noodle or whatever this is. And if next time I'm craving for that, I'll come here and get it lah.
It throws me off that the laksa is what's made me give the 2 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think that the store owner was very, very friendly, very nice.
Oh.
Yeah, like they were all very patient with taking the orders from everybody, which is a very big plus point for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice. Actually, what were you doing before politics?
When I joined, I was already working and I had just kind of come back to Singapore after my studies. And I was looking for a way to get involved a bit more, find out a little bit more about what community work is like. I just so happened to have a friend who was a volunteer somewhere and he said, why don't you come down and check it out? So it was kind of out of curiosity that got me involved. Most of the time, you start as a case writer for Meet the People session and these kind of things. In the Meet the People sessions, residents who have issues, they'll come down, want to see the MP to try and get some help. So the volunteers, they assist lah. So they meet with the resident first, maybe write up the case. Sometimes the volunteer will have an idea of, okay, how can you solve it?
Yeah,
If it's a more challenging case, the MP will come down, understand a bit more and help facilitate that lah. And then we will send an appeal to the relevant agency. And one thing led to another and here I am more than 10 years later lah.
Right, right.
So before that, I just had a normal job. I was working.
What was an early case that you took on that resonated with you?
We got quite a few single unwed mothers coming to see us. So these were people who had children out of wedlock and their kids were growing up. And back then, now the policies have changed. But back then, single mothers, they really struggled because they were still considered singles and finding it much harder to buy a flat, and didn't have the same level of grants that other families had.
Yes.
And so we saw a lot and helped them out. And actually, why I bring this up is because the MPs actually took these experiences from the ground and brought it into Parliament to speak up. Through that, actually now the policy on this has evolved, right? So if you're a single unwed mother, you get a lot of the assistance that families have based on the kid you have. So I found a lot of meaning in the fact that things that we were doing on the ground could actually move the needle from a policy perspective at a national level.
Yeah.
One thing that I like to ask a lot of people that get into politics is that you could have found success in the private sector, and yet people who come into politics, I guess, subject themselves to public scrutiny and it's almost an unnecessary cost to it. Does the benefit outweigh the cost?
Well, I mean, you asked me today, it's a bit hard to say. I'm quite new to being in this public role.
Yeah.
I used to be someone that followed other members of parliament and figured out how they did that. And so I saw kind of what worked and what didn't work. And not that I was prepared, but I felt a bit confident that okay, at least I've been given this responsibility. It's something I can take on because I have that experience. I do have a professional career too, which is quite interesting that I work for other governments as well. So I do a lot of public policy consulting, specifically in urban environment. So, in the last year, I've done projects for the governments in Djibouti in Africa. I went to Pakistan. I do work in Fiji.
Yeah.
And so I see from all over the world how different governments operate in terms of urban environment. I feel very strongly that Singapore's success, really relies on many, many factors, but a key factor is how the urban environment can continue to support Singaporeans, especially in having changing aspirations. So if I can be that vessel to help out and be useful, then why not?
Interesting. Was there a conversation that you had with your partner before deciding to continue on down this track?
Of course. You must have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like you rightfully mentioned, right? When you put yourself out there in public, and as you can see, I'm not conventionally looking, right, as a Singaporean. There would always be questions and people will be curious, but also probably be some nasty comments here and there. We just have to be sure that between myself and my wife, we knew what we were getting into. And she's a very private person herself. So she was very clear she didn't want to be in the public eye and all that.
So we just found out from Daniel that there is a soya bean for 30 cents. They haven't changed their prices since forever.
Since they
uncle
opened,
say, hey, back my day, drink 30 cents. It really still is
Independence.
30 cents.
This is only open 1982. So
Since 1980.
Ridiculous.
So we're going to go and find it.
Bro, for 30 cents, this is insane. What are you talking about?
Is it 30 cents or 50 cents?
Isn't the cup 30 cents? The plastic cup.
What in the world? Like Daniel was telling us, he was buying drinks for a whole group of volunteers. There were 10 of them. He passed them like $14. He got the $10 back.
This place is called Bot Tacos. It's located right outside the famous bowling alley in Kovan. Yeah, this is actually second outlet. So they are actually at Teochew. And the team that opened this place is also behind the popular bagel place called Woolly Bagels. Have you tried before?
Oh, no, I've never tried.
I'm a massive fan of their bagels. I've gone there like so many times.
Okay.
And it's a Muslim-owned place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we literally just randomly come here, right? They didn't know that we were coming here. Quickly talked to the staff and they were so kind. We wanted to pay for everything, but they decided to just throw in a few extra stuff for us. So I'm going to explain everything that's here that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And then the rest our guests. So we got the birria beef tacos. Okay, classic. Then we got the lamb rice bowl. Obviously, you cannot skip out on shrimp tacos. Okay. Grilled cheese with birria beef also, which they threw in kindly for us. And then this one, I have no idea. It's probably like their loaded nachos or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they also gave us a very cute, quirky looking drink, which I have no idea what it is.
Matcha something lah.
It's like a kueh lapis. Maybe it's avocado.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, let's dig in.
Let's blast through the entire menu.
Yeah.
Then we review individually, okay?
I take my Mexican food very seriously. And I think in Singapore it's very hard to find good Mexican food. But it's damn good lah. Yeah? Actually damn good. We started with the shrimp taco. The bite I took had a bit too much sauce. But the sauce itself was so nice. It was quite limey, had this after spicy kick. The prawn was grilled quite nicely. It really went together quite well. Birria tacos, generally I find them very disappointing. There's a lot of hype, right? It's not really quite good. The flavor was there. To each his own. My star to me was the lamb rice
really?
bowl.
This was the star for you?
Yeah. I love the lamb rice bowl.
I genuinely like tacos that are actually soft shell. So the birria one was actually very interesting for me because it actually really worked. Like they knew that the texture of the beef needed to be paired with the crispiness of a harder shell. So that was quite an interesting take for me. And I hate to agree because it just feels like we're all just saying the same thing, right? But the lamb also was my favorite.
Yeah.
There was this Mediterranean taste to it. I'm someone that likes a strong lamb taste, and you do get that. So it might not be for everybody. But overall, right, the one word that I think comes to mind is freshness. The ingredients were just so light and refreshing. So very pleased with this. The matcha strawberry is a revelation. The sauce, right, is like McDonald's strawberry sauce. But when you put it together with matcha,
Or the sundae.
yeah. But you match it together with the matcha, right, it's suddenly an elevated drink.
I know it's hard to add to what they have just said already. Let me try to give you a slightly different angle today, okay? I think in Singapore, it's very difficult to find Mexican food, tacos especially, at this price point.
Yeah.
Every dish that you see on the table here averages out to about $15 only.
Okay.
But me, price point wise, this place is fantastic. I think every dish holds its own. The two dishes that stand out to me the most are the grilled cheese. It's an interesting take on a grilled cheese with the birria experience.
Yeah.
And then the shrimp taco stood out a little bit more to me. There was a very good balance balance of like the fresh flavors from the mango, yet the grilled prawn was very nicely done. Like the barbecue flavor and all that was in the prawns.
Yes.
So you can tell that they made every ingredient well.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with Dan. This blew my mind.
Yeah.
And this place is a vibe. Like I wouldn't expect to find a place like this in a neighbourhood like Kovan. Okay. I think we need to get down to the rating.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
I would only just disclaim that I think the mindset I had when I was rating it is that it's not necessarily I'll make it a destination for any mood. I think it's when the wife or family say, hey guys, if you're eating tacos, where should we go?
Right.
This would be very high up the list. Okay, let's go here. And no matter where we are in Singapore.
The only reason why I gave it a 0.5 is because I don't think these are the best when it comes to the specific quality of the dish. But across the board, including price point, it's so impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that 2.5 rating. If you're craving Mexican food, this is the place.
One last thing I will add, right, is that I think I've been to places where they might have one dish that really stands out. For example, their fish taco is damn good, but then the beef taco not so good.
Yeah.
And one reason why I love this place is that I think they do a lot of things very well. So I mentioned in the early part of the video, you are the PAP Branch Chair for Paya Lebar in Aljunied GRC. It's quite a long title.
Yes.
And I think also given the context that PAP is not incumbent in Aljunied GRC,
Yeah.
what does the role entail exactly?
Branch chair role is really just being the head volunteer. We don't do MPS because we're not elected MPs, but we have Paya Lebar care sessions. So people come and talk to us and we help them. But of course, our role is limited because we are not the MPs.
I guess the perception is that being part of PAP in Aljunied GRC, things can be a little bit hostile. What was the reception like, given that you're newly appointed?
When I was first posted here, some of my volunteers, they told me some stories of people slamming the doors in their face and stuff like that. But actually, my experience is totally the opposite. They're very cute. Say, I support the Workers' Party, but since you're here, you want to come in for a drink of water? Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I really appreciate that because I just took on this role. There's a bit of anxiety, right? There's a door going to be slammed in my face. So I'm very thankful that so far nothing has happened.
So I'm sure that when you've been on the ground, there's a long list of a lot of like problems or issues or concerns that people have. What do you think are the key areas that you would like to improve in Paya Lebar should the opportunity arise?
Paya Lebar itself, the proportion of people who are seniors is quite large. It is a very old estate. We have HDB blocks here that are almost 50 years old.
Okay.
In those blocks, there are people who, they will say TEP, that means they're the first owner. So they grow up here and people age, mobility becomes an issue. Young families also move in, they have kids, they have friends. I've heard a lot of feedback on and quite eager to work on, if the chance arises, is to do a serious look at our barrier-free mobility within the estate. Everybody does look at this, but I think from a more human context that, even things like the slope of a ramp, how steep it is, all these things matter to people. Also, my professional background is in urban livability. And so this kind of also speaks to me.
How old do you need to be? Like a minimum age? Or can a kid come up to you and be like,
No. Yeah. From complainer, I think anyone can come and complain, right? Because the kid may have a real issue. Maybe the playground, there's a slide that is too rusty, not safe to go down, but I really want to go on the slide.
So you previously were a volunteer at Nisun and recently moved here to Paya Lebar. Was there anything that you've learned from Nisun that you found extremely valuable, like either working with the team there or just being on the ground that you've taken with you here?
One of the moments that was really difficult for me to handle was this couple. It was a very simple request. The man had lost his IC, and to replace your IC is $25, right? So they were low income, they were not working, they were renting out their unit to a tenant. And so I just wrote a letter to ICA, hey, can you just waive the guys $25? Can't really afford it. So they went, no issue, whatever. A few weeks later, the woman came back and the woman said, yeah, we got a letter from ICA saying that the fee was waived, which is great. And then between the time that the IC was ready for collection and the time that they could collect the IC, unfortunately, the husband had passed away. Yeah. So she was coming to me to ask me, can she go and collect the IC? Because that day that they went to get dressed up, take the photo, was the last day they went out together as a couple.
How do you even cope with that or like process that?
I don't know. I just remember feeling completely in shock. Of course, we immediately wrote the letter, but then the key thing was to switch and say, actually, what other support do you need? What else can we help you with? We've got the community to try and keep in touch with her for the next couple of years. So these are the touch points that can really make a difference to a person's life. We ourselves as volunteers, we're not trained in every situation, right? And I think what helps is that we work with a lot of community partners on the ground who have specialized expertise in different areas.
okay, good food, good conversation. Now we're going to head off to the last location.
Okay guys, so we're here at Simon Road. We are here to try Ng Kwan Chili Pan Mee, which has been highly recommended.
Yes.
Not just by the community, but our colleagues as well. So there are two options here. The first, right, which is the signature chili pan mee. It comes with minced meat as well as all the things that you know and love, like egg lah, ikan bilis. This is a bit of a variation. So it doesn't come with the minced meat. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
Fried pork instead.
Oh.
Before we continue, we looked at the reviews of this place.
Right.
Yes.
And with a lot of popular places, there will be others that, don't agree so much lah. So there are actually a string of 1-star reviews.
Yes.
Oh.
Saying things like they don't understand why it's so good, the service was below par, poor attitude, things were like too salty, chicken was cold.
Oh.
A lot of complaints here. So
I'm so excited. I
how
get
was the
excited by
ordering experience?
It was absolutely seamless. And I think service is overrated.
Yeah.
Like, why does service come into deciding whether a place is good or not?
You gonna do okay?
He know already, he know. Honestly, right, I love the noodles, it's just too damn spicy. It's this al dente texture that I like. It's not overcooked, so it's too soft.
Yeah.
So there's a good bite to it, and with every mouthful, you get so much flavor.
Yeah.
If there's one word to describe it, it's like it's super flavorful. Every mouthful. Yeah.
Very umami. I think it's also because the person that makes it did a good job finally.
I was gonna say that, so yeah, hey, good job, man. Good job.
Why?
Really well done.
Yeah, very well mixed.
thank
Very
you.
well mixed.
It's not the chef, it's the mixer. Okay, so we just got drinks for John Paul because it's a bit too spicy for him. To be a proxy on the spice levels, for me, it wasn't really that spicy. I'm the one that orders tonga at the mala shop.
Yeah.
But what I thought was a little bit too much of was, I think it was just a bit too salty for me. Just a bit. Because I drank the soup, and the soup, I think, counters that because the soup is a little bit bland.
Yeah.
I think it actually makes it quite balanced.
How do you describe pan mee to somebody who has never tried it before?
I think what you get, right, is a bunch of very simple flavors. The simpleness of egg yolk that can make anything taste good, with the simpleness of salted anchovies together with fried onions, blended together, right? And what you get is melodic harmony of flavors.
The sum is greater than its parts.
I really agree with that.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way to describe
yeah,
this
yeah.
bowl of noodles. Damn. Is it the same spiciness as this?
Yes.
Okay, then never mind.
But it's whether you want to try it without the mincemeat. Whether that will make a
It's
difference.
okay lah.
This may be very controversial.
Oh!
I might like it without the mincemeat more.
Oh!
Like the simplicity of it, So I must preface this by saying I love my San Rong. When they deep fry it to me, it's just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I said don't listen to him. I will pay $8 for just this plate. Yeah, I fucking love it. I don't know, maybe it's my childish palate, alright? It's like popcorn chicken on steroids. The outside is very, it's a very nice crust. Then on the inside, right, the meat kind of like low-key melts in your mouth.
Okay, personally for me, I think it's too much of a bell whistle, but I can see a lot of people enjoying it, and if we come in a group, I don't mind ordering it for everybody to try.
Yeah.
And the good thing also is that if you don't live in Kovan, there actually is a number of branches
Oh,
around Singapore.
okay.
Okay, and if it's close, holy fuck. Holy fuck. Claypot rice. Name very interesting.
Cut.
Sorry, we haven't even rated this place.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
1.5.
I was gonna give 1.5.
I think if you're in the East and you have a super craving for something spicy, slightly simple, this is the place to come now.
Okay.
Alright, so now that we come to the end of the episode, was there a favorite standout dish for you?
A lot of good food, but I think the two standout dishes for me, I love the laksa. That was a revelation.
Yes.
And the other one, which also surprised me a lot, is the lamb and rice bowl. Yeah. So those are really great.
So I'm guessing residents will see you a lot more in those two locations.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright, so Daniel, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today
for having
on
me.
today's
Thank you.
Food Hunt.
Yeah.
We'll see you next one. Like, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.
I look Angmo, I don't look so Singaporean, right? And that's because I have this, not really a condition, but I was born with something called albinism. I have a lack of something called melanin, and so that affects the development of color in your skin, and also affects your development of your optic nerve. So my eyesight is not very good as well. So, of course, people are coming up to me, how come there's the Angmo who is now like in the PAP? It can be weird for residents sometimes.
I see. At what age did your parents articulate it to you? How do you come to understand like albinism?
I don't remember the exact moment where I'm like, oh, look, I'm quite different. I think being in Singapore, you go to school, childcare, and then you go to daycare with people. So from a very young age, it was quite obvious that I look very different. And so why was that? I think my parents just kind of told me. It doesn't fully register when you're 4 or 5. Maybe starting in primary school, that was when you're like, oh, I really look damn weird. And maybe because of that or whatever, I became naturally more of an introvert. Right. So somehow I really dislike having a lot of attention, which is weird now. I totally get the irony in that.